Maximum warp.
Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to episode 4 of Party Wipe. Wipe Party is a very different game, no Jewel. How's it going, Remus? No Jewel. What's up? Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing? Let's do this. We're going at a breakneck speed. And by breakneck, I mean we're doing a little bit every day. But we are trying to maintain a momentum. We are trying to put a demo on Steam by like the end of the year. We're going to enter it into the February Next Fest. We are going to just go. We are going to just go for it. I've said before, the development of this game is very much the anti-dream game approach. Like we're being very, aggressive about using assets, plugins. Sure, we'll get some no Jewel plugins here before long. Sure, we'll find some of those sweet VFX useful here. But yeah, we're gonna try to do this. It's crazy. It's an aggressive journey. One of the most heartbreaking things I did this morning is I think I withdrew from Solo Dev Jam number 12, which is in July. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, man, I'm treating this game like a game jam. You would never enter 2 game jams simultaneously, would you? That would be crazy, right? For my problem is I think it betrays the lie that this is a game jam. So I think I'm going to have to... I don't think we're going to do any more game jams this year. Maybe next year when we've got a stronger idea of what's going on, but we'll see. I think we're going to need to take a break. I think we're going to need to have a singular vision and focus here. So today we're going to try to adapt the Simple Cards plugin to try to get a basic deck and hand and card pile structure that we can use. We're going to start messing around with that. I want to get the card interaction stuff figured out first to an extent, at least to like use it. And then I think we'll start working on like the tactical wargaming part, the like grid and everything. This is my latest idea for like the playable area. I was messing around with the dimensions last night. I actually think this might be nice. This 8 to it's I think 12 by 8. I'm not quite sure about the side margins. I need to see what we end up doing with like the character sheets and stuff. But I think we could even squeeze out another bit here. And then the interior space would be like 6 by 12 or whatever, which I guess doesn't really mean anything. But I think that's nice. If we're battling outdoors, we'd probably go all the way up to the edge. But yeah, something like that I think will be reasonable. But we've got our card. We've got a nice card, if I say so myself. The only thing I added was I added the little level markers on the side. Yesterday, and I changed the coloring, so this is like the coloration for like the level 1 card, which will be like gray, which works really well with our knight. But we'll have lots of different card backs for the different levels. I think there are going to be 6 levels, I've decided. I know I've said 5 up until now, but I think we're going to go with 6. I think we'll have like gray, white, green, blue, purple, orange. We'll have an achievement if you can get like 3 of your heroes up to level 6 or something. It'll be like the number of the beast. Something like that. We're going to have a lot of number of the beast satanic panic jokes in this game for D&D's sake. Including, I think, the pricing. I think the pricing in the US is going to be $6.66. I think I'm comfortable with that amount for a 6-month to 1 year project. I think we're going to go for it. I think we're going to go for appeal. I know it's a niche strategy game, but I think we're going to like, even being niche, it's still like however many, you know, people still play a fuck ton of roguelike deck builders. I think tactical games are maybe a little more niche, but Into the Breach still did well, so I don't know. No, Jewel, if you get the funding, the decision's on Sunday, you'll definitely make a lot of 2D assets in a resolution size that would fit the game's main assets. Ooh, the game's main assets are 16 by 16, just to be clear. That sounds awesome. You've applied for some funding and you're just waiting to hear about it. That's really great. So I think I'm leaning into this direction of we don't actually put really any text information on the cards. I really like these tiny cards. And I think for the screen space, the tiny card is good. Because you'll just have, what, like 5, maybe 6 cards in your hand. Maybe we make hand sizes 6 just to keep up with the number of the beast thing. And yeah, I'd rather that because if they're any bigger than this, you won't be able to, like, you'll miss part of the battlefield or something. And that'll be a problem. So I think we're going to use another thing that I'm thinking of, like a character sheet to display all of the information about your character. As well as like items and stuff. Maybe we do something with items where we list some base stats, but I see how quickly that gets out of control. Especially when you start having like spell cards and stuff. It's like, what are you going to do? Explain how the whole card works? And I think what we're going to do is a kind of tool tipping, where maybe we have like kind of like a character sheet entry or something for the unit or the item, and we can either display it as its own little tooltip, or we can, if you play it over a character, maybe it'll show you all of the changes that would make to their character, have a nice like differential. And in that case, we can take up the whole screen because that's all you're considering right now, so you can like look at it. I think we're going to try to use the whole space rather than, because the thing that I don't like and the thing that seems to plague roguelike deck builders is that the UI, there's so many things in the UI and they're all so small that there's no way to get them onto like a Steam Deck or anything like that. A small form factor. I feel like a game like this desires to be played on a small form factor. Arneo, so the characters are cards, but the characters also have cards. So a card is a character, like you have a knight level 1 or a knight level 2 card or whatever. But the characters, if you play them, have an existence on the board. And so what I think we're going to do is you will have entries. You'll have a roster here on the left of like your characters that are on the board. Maybe it looks like a little header of this card here. Maybe it like just looks like this knight thing or something as like a header. Like you take this and you make like a slightly modified version of this or something. And then you can hover over that or click on that or whatever, and it will expand to a quote-unquote character sheet, which is just like a bigger card that doesn't move. And that can show you all the slots for like their items. It can show you what items are in there. There would be like a pile of cards under this card. So that's what you're doing. You're playing cards onto a character, and the character is a card. So the first time you play the knight, you'd play a knight card, you'd get a character sheet of it. Then you could play another knight card to try to level it up, or you could start playing, you're like, oh, I want to put a sword on this guy and a shield. And it's like, what else does he have room for? That's what we're thinking about. About stickers to put on cards? What do you mean? What do you mean, no Joel? Like what kind of stickers? Like an Iron Maiden sticker? Like a sick, or like an Icarus sticker? No, I'm kidding, but I do genuinely want to understand what you're saying here. I made a base card back that I need to set up. I don't know if I love this, absolutely. I might want to do like either a shadow behind the text or like an outline or something for these. But I realized I needed a card back. That's a lot snappier, I guess. Just to do a little easy shadow. What if there's a darker... Do a quick calculation here. It's 2/3. If we did a darker outline here. Kind of like that. What if we did the darker outline here? That's not good. Yeah, maybe like this. Maybe this is the shadow color. Well, that looks kind of nice. Let's do this for now. And I'll finish this. Can you post a link? Always, no Jewel. Always and forever. You can post a link. Please link responsibly. That's the rule. Well, that's not exactly the rule, but it's basically the rule. Not supposed to mess around with card backs and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm taking a very, I'm not managing my time well in terms of like, I don't have a to-do list. I think that's something I need to work on. Because I'm starting to sort out in my head like what the deadlines are. Like we have a public in-person playtest on August 15th that I want to do. I like that. I kind of like that. The only other question is, do we do this instead? Oh, well, we need to copy this color first. We do this. Do we like this better? I kind of like this better. As opposed to this. I think this gray is too light. I don't want it to be absolutely black, but I think this is too light. Let's try 15. There we go. I think that's it. I think that's the stuff right there. I might even have to actually update the title card to include this. I like that. Wind of Flatus. Make the card vertically mirrored. You want the card back to be vertically mirrored? You don't think that would be just too busy? I'm concerned that would be really busy, but let's try it. No harm in trying it. Oh, let's copy it. Whoa, buddy. How are you doing, Wind? It's good to see you. It's good to see you around a little more regularly here. We like that. I feel like this is too much. I don't think there's enough negative space here. It's kind of neat, though. Yeah, too much. Yeah, I think this is all right. I think we're going to save this as base card back. Party wipe sprites cards. I might have to change this. Base card back. I don't know about exporting it just quite yet. So I did my own sprites for the cards, the card fronts. I did them as separate sprites, and I'm having second thoughts about that. Wait, where's the file that I thought I had here? Base border. Oh, I have these saved as the same thing. That's neat. What is this then? Is this a PNG? Oh my god, I've been working on a PNG the whole time. Classic Dave. All right, let's fix that. Easy to fix. Easy to fix. When to Flatus, you're thinking adding some more elements around the text, like some logo that gets mirrored. Oh, okay, no worries. We can think about that. I don't have a logo. I don't quite know if I will. We are leaning in hard to like the D&D red text here, which I think is good. All right, Nojul has a link for us. A while ago, you made design for cards. You were thinking about modifying cards, so you're playing around with stamps and stickers to put on the cards. That seems cute. Let's look at this. Sorry for the flashbang. Show me. Show me the money. Ooh. That's a very efficient card. That's very beautiful. Very efficient use of space and iconography. I like that. Little stickers you can put on. I see how the stickers are slightly off too. You can like slap them on. That would be cool if I was doing like some kind of legacy game where you're like modifying the cards as you play like that. That's really neat. I like that a lot. My card design might suck. We'll see. I'm trying to like settle on the layout design before I make a ton of cards. Why am I on the border layer? Oh god, Dave. Dave. Dave is trash at this. Wrong layer, Dave. Starting off strong. Charismatic, you love the sticker idea. Cardpocalypse is one of your favorite games. Uses the sticker mechanic. I've only seen sticker mechanics on like when I'm playing like legacy games, like legacy, like the legacy Betrayal of Baldur's Gate or something. Cool idea. Really cool. Your maximum warp might go away, no, Joel. I'm thinking of switching the channel sound effects over to like more thematically appropriate things. But you'll have something else. Maybe you'll have like the Wilhelm scream or something. Something funny. I might do the down-tuned song from Honor Among Thieves. I just watched Honor Among Thieves the other day. It was a good movie to work to. They know. They understood the assignment. Is it like the best movie ever made? Absolutely not. But man, I'd be lying if I said they didn't understand the assignment. All right, so my only concern is the color of this gray here. But I need it to be lighter than the background. I need it to be lighter than the background around it. Hold on a second. I need to go to the other scene here. So I manually reposition the P in party wipe here. I think I will do that here as well. Like that. That's better. Now I just need to center it. Oh yeah, the I and the R are aligned. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. And then this should be 3. There should be 3 here. Are there 3? There are 3. Okay. All right. I like this. I'm okay with this. And then this is our base card. So I need to save this as base card stock. I'm gonna just call it stock. It's like the thing we're making the card on. I don't know. Cards. Base card stock. I could just call it base card. I like this. This communicates very clearly what I want. I think it would be neat to try to like a little like droplet of blood coming off the white part, but let's not lean too hard into like the cleaning up a mess analogy. The minimalistic inscription card design is also pretty nice. The inscription is very good. Hey Sapphire, how's it going? Yeah, I like this. So I'm gonna call this, we're gonna export this as base card back. Just gonna overwrite this other file here, which is fine. These should be identical now. All right, and then so there's the card front, and I did these. I'm gonna do these on separate layers here. I'm gonna call this the base. I'm gonna call this the, whatever. Call it stock. I'll call it border. And so this is the front. This is, I'm not gonna call this level 1. I'm gonna also call this border. And then I'm going to make a new layer called corner. We'll say header. This needs to be in front. New layer. Footer. A new one. Call it portrait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this stuff. I'm going to add these individual elements, which I designed as separate sprites for some reason. I'm going to add it to one big base card just to make my life easier. In the long run, I hope. What did I open? Corner or center? Center. So here's a corner. This here. Why is this behind everything? I don't understand the order of things because I'm dumb. There we go. This goes here. This also goes here. And then center goes here, and now lining this up is going to be my great struggle in life. $17, $15, $9. How's everyone doing today? 9. Oh, I did it. All right. Yeah, so this is the card. This is gray because this is like the level 1 version. I'm going to add another group. I want to add it the other way around. I want to call this front, and I want to call this level 1. Hey, Rhiannon. Sapphire, the days are just marching on. How are you? I'm good. I'm feeling the momentum with this project. I was talking earlier. I think we're going to not do any more game jams this year, which hurts me. But, hey, J-Cup. I realize that if I'm treating this as a long game jam and I'm putting everything into this, it makes no sense to then go do another game jam on top of this, and that's like kind of insane. So we're all in. We're all in on Party Wipe right now. We've got in-person playtest on August 15th. That's like 10 weeks from now. So I've got about 10 weeks to have something that's playable and that has enough onboarding that someone who's not, you know, a member of the chat here can figure it out. We'll definitely do some playtesting with the community here before then. So I would like a web build up in like 2 months, I think. Maybe like 8 weeks, something like that. At least the core loop. Like, we're probably not going to have a lot of the meta. We're probably just going to have random encounter after random encounter. And you'll probably just get to draft cards during the encounters and stuff. I don't know. We'll have to have something, but I just want to test the inner loop. The inner loop needs to be really tight. Of just getting cards, playing cards, doing combat. And then if that's strong, we can add meta progression stuff on top of that. Do these line up? Ooh, they do. Good. Nice. Very nice. But yeah, I like this card. It's super minimal. And the only information I've really added to it is the little level information on the side. I think the LVL is a little hard to read. It's like, lol. 10 weeks gives a good deadline. I know, I need to work out the details, though. I need to work out the, like... I need to look at what is everything we need to have by then, and then I need to work back from that. Make an actual deadline and schedule or stuff. But yeah, we're pushing hard on this. How are you doing, Jacob? Sounds like a lot of work. Anything worth doing is. We need another marathon jam soon. Okay, Rhiannon. We might be able to do a marathon jam. That's true. That's true. That could be fun. The solo dev marathon jam. That could be fun. But yeah, I really like this card setup. You know what? You know who would have my favorite cards are the stupid little train cards from certain versions of Ticket to Ride. Especially, I don't remember which ones exactly, but some of them have these really tiny little train cards, and they're so good, and I love them. I would love to replicate. I know we need a little more information than that, but I'm hoping that we can get away with not much and then just include the rest of the information. Like, lean into the fact this is a digital card game, right? Like, when you're doing a physical card game, there's no way around it. But we're doing a physical card game, so this could easily just be a token in card form. Like, this is just a thing, and we can provide a lot more information off of the thing. We probably want an on-mouse outline kind of thing soonish. But what I really need to do is sort out things like assembling the hand, having a deck. So I want the deck down here. I think we'll figure out exactly where to put it here. But I think having a card down here, or the draw deck down here, I think that's nice. I think that's very nice. I think it also, because of what it says, because we've drawn the name of the game on it. Because we've drawn the name of the game on it, it's like free advertising. I know it's in the title of the video, but I feel like that'll be useful later. The fact that anytime anyone's watching someone play this game, it'll just say Party Wipe. It'll just say the name of the game in the bottom left corner on the back of the card. I feel like that can only help. Alright, I'm gonna update the layout of the cards in a minute here. Charismatic, so true for your little passion project. You need to take the rules for card games and the card pools for them into separate JSON files. Gonna be a lot of work, but worth it once it's done. Yeah, I took a little look at your card project. It seems very, very involved. It looks cool. Seems cool for analyzing these really big card game spaces like MTG. Like, MTG has been going on for what, like decades? I don't think any human could analyze what all of the rules, interactions, and what's going on in MTG. It's just too big. All right, so this is a black screen because I removed all of the references to things here. I'll put them back in as we fix it. I did this because I wanted to test that I could build the entire layout using, so this card is totally blank, right? There's nothing in here. And that means that we have a resource that defines all of the stuff that the card should look like. And that makes it really easy to build cards. But there is some amount of hard coding we're going to do. Because, like, the names are going to need to be individually positioned to look the best. So we probably will have layout scenes for the different characters and cards and stuff. And then the data will just be... Honestly, the data might be more used by the tooltip system. And we barely use any of the data here. We'd use the level, and then we'd do a lookup to figure out what card back to use. I'm not going to bother making any more card backs right now. But I do want to do that very soon. Or not card backs, card fronts. It's meant to be a tool for teaching complex card games. You poured all your MTG and Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge into it. That's interesting. Very interesting. So what I think I don't need in this anymore is I don't think I need a margin or a border. I just need an icon.
Just wanted to call you early and say Happy New Year's before I get too black out or brown out or one of the browns. I mean out.
This is such a bad intro to this song.
Fine.
I like this song, but like Jesus. Sorry. Okay, so very quickly, what we're going to do, so we have our new card data, our new card art that's all unified. It's not all these different individual pieces anymore, which I honestly might keep for the moment, just so I can edit them very easily, but we've got them in different layers here, so I might not actually need to do that. We need to export it. We can say, so this is the base card front. So that's the base card back. This is the base card. This is the base card front level 1. Export that. Clean up the files a little bit here. Party wipe sprites, cards, new base. I actually don't know if I want to store the cards here, but I might. I'm trying this different thing where I store most of the assets in the folders associated with the end product, which involves mixing scenes and resources and scripts together. I'm trying this out because this seems to be the thing Godot prefers. Like when you try to attach a script to a scene, to a node in a scene, it's like, oh, let me look in the folder that the scene is in. So it's very clearly the thing that they would prefer. I have to decide if that's how I want to do it. Right now, the sprites are stored separately because they're actually mostly stored in atlases. So we're not currently doing that, but I'm tempted to do it. Let's move those into here. Move this into there as well. MTG rules makes your eyes... MTG rules text makes your eyes glaze over. I think it's a result of the rules starting out as just language and then needs to be formalized. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because they're using plain language, but the plain language doesn't have a plain meaning. It has like a very particular capital M meaning. That's why I'm not putting information on the card, because like I think we could get away with having you know, we've got our knight card here. Oop. Well, I broke all the references. I need to fix that before we can do anything. But we've got like our card. Whatever. We could get rid of the center portrait and just use the corner portraits and have like, if it's a spear, we could have like attack. Whatever. If it's a spell, it's like, okay, the damage of this spell is this. It does this. It does like X damage with Y type of damage. But it's like, what if the spell does more than that? What if the spell is like scry 1, and then it's like, well, now we just have a different thing, a tooltip that explains what scry 1 is. It's like, well, we might as well put the things for the spell somewhere else too. I don't know. And if a card does a one-off thing that doesn't have a keyword for it, it's like, I don't know. I like this. I like this minimalism. We're gonna try this. If it playtests very badly, we will reconsider putting as more information on the cards themselves. But I like the center portrait because it's the same size as the thing in the item in the battle map, because the battle map is at double the resolution. And then the corner icons let us do card suits. So you could be like, oh, this is a spear. It's part of the knight suit. And it's like, I don't know if that means only knights can equip it, or that it's just an indication to the player that you got this in a knight pack. I'm not sure which one I want to do. Because some of it could be really stupid, where it's like, oh, a spell sword and a paladin can both use swords, maybe. I actually might. I'm leaning into this. The card suit are the units that can equip that spell. Because that, rather than just have it be generic, because we could make it so that a wizard could learn like basically any spell. But I kind of like the idea of having it be very particular. I think the only thing I would need to change is I would need to update some of these guys. Some of these guys have the same weapon. Like a spell sword has a sword, and a paladin also has a sword. But I might replace the sword with like a mace or something, and then this guy can be a cleric. Because clerics famously use like maces rather than like swords or whatever, right? There's some exceptions. Like this guy has an axe. There's also a great axe, and yeah, maybe we actually do make it so that equipment is unique to the particular character, and you don't actually mix equipment. I could actually see that being kind of viable here. Rather than having everything like common, it's stored in common. I kind of like that idea. Kind of interested in pursuing that. All right, so all of this doesn't work anymore, so I need to finish setting up the base card layout. And in fact, I actually want this to be like an abstract layout, but that's kind of beside the point. So I want to really simplify this, and that's what I'm doing right now. So base border. So base card layout. We'll rename this to card border. Or maybe card stock. Card base. Base card layout, card base is pretty bad. We could say card front. That I'm okay with. Card front. And then we're going to hard code a texture here. just for example. Card front. So here it is. This is all as one piece. No more. Man, Diginanigans saved me the other day when I was like messing around with like panel containers and like fiddling with these annoying little like generating. It's like generating the car layout. And Nanigans was like, couldn't you just draw this? And I'm like, you know, I guess I could. And then we did, and it looks so crisp and tasty. All right, so now we can put the header name in exactly the place that we want. We don't need a header margin anymore. We also don't need this border. We can just have the header icon out here. I really get annoyed with a nested control nodes. Make me insane. We could have one margin that pushes. We could have a couple margin containers. Here we could do a little nesting just as a treat. What we can do is we can say, just to make a little of this easier, but we really don't need to do it. And in fact, I'm tempted not to at all. We'd say icon margins. We'd say icon margin. We would specify a margin that lets us deploy into here. So we would go into the constants. We'd push this in a little. This in a little. Should look like that. This is kind of how the example project does their thing. So it's an outer margin. That's kind of nice. It's not going to be used for the name text. We might have a separate one for the name text. And then we just put the header icon, which I should actually plug a texture into so we can actually see what we're doing. I want the Atlas. No, I want the night Atlas texture. There it is. We're going to anchor this one to the top right, and then we are going to put it in the margin. And now I need to understand what the heck just happened. So I thought that would work. This is why I don't want to do this. I thought this would work. But it's just deploying it in the center. Shrink begin. There we go. Shrink end. Shrink begin. There we go. Perfect. And then we can put the footer icon there as well. Use the same night Atlas texture. Already set up. Beautiful. I don't know why it's set up correctly in this. Oh, because it doesn't have a parent. And so, okay, this one needs to be flipped upside down is I guess the thing about it. So maybe this can't be in here. See, this is why I'm like, I could also just position these manually. I think I'm going to do that. I forgot about the flipping upside down thing. Fine. Trying to do it. Let it be said that I tried to do it the right way. I actually want this to be anchored to the top right. It's one of these things where I think the UI stuff is really useful if you have a bunch of stuff that's dynamically sized and resized and you like don't quite know ahead of time. But it's like if you know exactly what you're doing and you have it locked into the pixel, why not just do it correctly? And by correctly, I mean, why not just do it? Bottom left. Inner sizing. I'll take this does anything. Oops. Just move you down 112 or something. Nope, a little less than that. Charismatic. Is there going to be some type of cost system to play the cards? Or more like Yu-Gi-Oh! No cost, but accessibility restrictions? I don't know quite the difference because I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm deliberating on that. My temptation is to say that cards do not have a cost. However, because I don't want to associate a cost with the card to cast, but I might. Like maybe it's based on, maybe the mana cost of the card is the same as its level or something, but that's bad unless you can generate a bunch of mana later in the game. I don't really want to restrict you from playing a card that you manage to draw, but I also don't want you to just empty your hand every turn because you're like, man, I might as well play it. I want it to be very situational. So I might just do a thing where it's like, so a round of combat would involve everyone on the field taking action, right? And you have something like up to 4 characters on the field. So, and there's probably some number of enemies between like 1 and like 6 or something, who knows? Some number of enemies on the field. I might do a thing where it's like you can play a card every turn, every like combat turn. So it's like one person goes, you can play a card. One person goes, you can play a card. Or you can play a card before one person goes. So you have to like think about, so you have your hand and you have to think about like what turns within a round of combat you want to play your stuff. It's like, oh, I really want to have my shield on this guy so he can block the incoming damage, but I also need to like I need to put a spell on this guy so that they can do this utility thing. So I don't want you to just be able to cast anything you want whenever you have it. I don't want you to just dump your hand at the start of combat and then just wait. So there needs to be some restriction. I just don't know what it is. Hey, Commander. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, because there isn't a cost, it's create a problem. Because accessibility plus consistency turn to hand economy. I'm not familiar enough with card game mechanics to know exactly what that means, but it sounds problematic. There's so many card games that have just tried to solve the MTG's like mana problems, which aren't really problems, they're constraints. And it's like a lot of people say the same problems with mana are also what allow for the strengths of mana systems like MTG. It's like, yeah, you can get mana screwed, but there's also like, it's also how the whole thing works. Action points is a classic, or any type of mana system. Yeah, the characters in the little board are going to have a kind of action economy because they'll be able to do a D&D thing where they can each like move once on their turn and they can take an action, or maybe they can take an action and a bonus action. Maybe they can like have a class feature that lets them do something. So there's going to be a little action economy on the wargaming side. I just don't quite know how to constrain that on the card side. I kind of like the idea of the player can play one card on a turn of combat, and maybe what you need is like, so like druids will have this spell called Enervate, right, in like Hearthstone, and that would get you more mana. So maybe it's like normally you could only play one card on a given turn of combat, but you use it's your druid's turn, and so your druid uses their Enervate spell, Innervate, whatever you want to call it, and that lets you play another card, or maybe 2 more cards, or whatever, on a given turn. So I want to have some interaction between the 2 different action economies. I just don't quite know what the shape of that's going to be yet. But yeah, I really don't want to have a casting cost. That's I think the one thing I don't want to do is like a strict mana-based casting cost system. I think something intuitive, like you draw 5 or 6 cards at the top of combat and you can play 1 card before each of your little duders go, or maybe including enemy duders. Maybe it's in between each turn, you can play a card or something like that. So you can both set up your own guys' turns and try to mitigate damage on enemy turns. So you can be like, oh, my guy is about to take this hit. Let me put a different piece of armor on him. Something like that. Having every card be functionally 1 mana sounds not great. Can you elaborate on that? Makes sense, a decent constraint. I'm not sure. This is not my field of expertise, but I know a lot of card game designers, so I've gotten a lot of talkings too about this, and I feel like that will continue because I'm not a big card game developer. This is my first time, so we're figuring it out as we go. Portrait icon, dead center. We're just gonna not have that be a child of anything. We are going to. I might need a margin for the portrait icon just to constrain it correctly. Maybe not. Huh. How's this work? Did I just define the sizing and that just is fine? Center. Is that actually in the center? It looks like it's in the center. This actually looks like it's wrong. This looks like it's subtly wrong. Specifically because of what's going on here. Yeah, I think we're off by 1 pixel. Let me double check this. What's the size of the little knight thing? The little knight duder. Where do I do that? That's an atlas texture, so I'd actually look here. Textures. Knight atlas texture. Where is that? There we go. That size is 16 by 16. Okay, so yeah, this is off. This is off. It should be size 32 by 32. And then the position we just need to update. Did I make this border thing bigger than I needed to? I don't think so. Oh yeah, because if it was sized any differently, we'd have a problem. So I guess that's correct. All right, these are all set up. I'm gonna get rid of all the cruft that we don't need. Level right, we need. Level left, we need. Maybe organize these alphabetically. You can get rid of this. Get rid of this. All right, we simplified this significantly, and that makes me feel better. Way cleaner. I mean, we simplified a lot of it by just putting the whole card stock into 1 image. All right, we're heading into ads. Hold on to your ads. What does the look of the card evolve during gameplay? Hi, Ion. We're heading right into ads. You might get caught, but I will say that their cards have a rarity associated with them. So they will change. So this is gray, so this is level 1. It'll go through the classic, like, RPG card rarity thing, or item rarity. We basically unified item rarity, or card rarity, and, like, item level. We've equalized those things. So the highest level card is, like, a legendary card, quote-unquote. So that's how the cards will change, probably. All right. Commander. It means you can't have more powerful versions of cards or effects having a trade-off compared to cantrips. Alright, let's understand this. I.e., always cast the best thing you have because you always only have 1 mana, plus a bit more strategy about what order you play things. So I think the thing is where you're coming from and how most of these games do it. Is that the cards are the things. So you'd put the spell on the wizard. The wizard would still need to cast their spell. We'll see if we have like card slots or if we have spell slots. Like if I associate levels with spells or something. We might do that. Because I feel like when you're talking about more powerful spells, the way I would want to constrain that is at the tactics game level. I'd want to be able to make that spell available. But then it's kind of up to whether we can fit it into the... Is the GDT ready? We don't do GDDs here, Ion. No, I appreciate that. It's a good idea. We have an obsidian vault that we scribble in, but I don't like doing full GDDs. Because you're the only people I have to explain this game to. And you're a captive audience. Do you know the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game? I do not. Is it a mana cost? You can only play one card, but can combo compatible cards? Maybe. Isn't it better to design the cards later once the gameplay is more clear and it's certain what will be on the card? No, Jewel, I want to have a basic card layout scene so I don't have to make these all myself. It's just like a scene instancing thing. So it's just to make it easier to change all of the cards and to build all of the cards. That's the point here. More about planning than explaining. More of the game is planned faster. The process of creation goes. That's can be true, especially on a team. I think GDDs are very strong if there's more than one developer working on a game, because you have to align on everything, and then it's really about communication. So it comes back to explaining. But I think a GDD is more useful the more you are sure you know what you're doing. Because this is more exploratory. Like, I don't want to pre-plan a whole system, then do a playtesting event, find out that system is not fun, and then have to do something else. I'd rather just try stuff. I'd rather just iterate. And because I'm a solo developer, anything I spend my time on has an opportunity cost associated with it. So I'm not saying I don't like spending time planning and thinking and stuff, but like, I'd rather do that. I'd rather let the back of my mind do that while the front of my mind is working on other things. Like, okay, everyone's back. I don't know if anyone heard any of the things that I said. I tried to respond to you a little, Commander. If you missed it, let me know, and I'll go back. Because I think you raise a good point. Rant was heard. Okay. I'm not ranting. I'm sorry. If there's a certain energy, if there's an anxious energy to the way that I'm talking, it has to do with the pace in which we're doing this. All right, so none of these need to be unique names anymore because there's no hierarchy anymore. Everything is just under sub-viewport. None of these are set by the resource anymore, I don't think. Well, we could do it that way, couldn't we? I don't really want to though, because the header names are gonna change for each card. So actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of almost all of this. The only thing that we're gonna keep is the card front, which might conflict with a pre-existing declaration. Excuse me. We're gonna get rid of everything except these three. We are going to have a card levels array. Get rid of these. Get rid of all of this. We don't really need the level index either. So what we're going to do is we're going to say card front.texture equals card levels this. The level text stuff will still be set So the only thing we're going to do is we're going to change the texture of the card and the level display based on the resource. The rest of this stuff is going to be just written in, and we'll hand position things like text and stuff, because that requires some style manipulation that I don't think we can do dynamically very easily. So I'm not going to worry about that. Get all that. Yeah, I'm sorry. If it sounds like I'm dismissing people's ideas, that's not my intent. It's genuinely not my intent. This one. I noticed something the other day, which is the card is updated twice anytime we plug in, anytime the card is created. I don't quite understand that. It's not a problem, but it's mildly concerning. Label. Label. Oh, no rant was heard here. Oops. I misinterpreted your statement, Rhiannon, Commander, to be like, no, rant was heard here. Not no rant was heard here. Okay, okay. Has Dave started work on any sort of gameplay yet? This is day 4. Which I guess for game jams is pretty appalling. But no, I think the difference between the MTG context that you're talking about and the Hearthstone context, Rhiannon, is that cards in this game are just things. So it's like you would deploy, you would throw a card, maybe it has a spell on it or something, or maybe it's an axe, maybe it's a weapon or a spell or something, and you play it onto a unit that you have, like a wizard or a knight or something. I don't really want to penalize you for deploying higher level cards onto your units. Like, I don't want to make that harder, because that's kind of the reward, because you're doing the thing. You're cycling your deck well enough that you're able to level up and increase the level of your cards. If I need, from an action economy standpoint, to restrict your ability to use those more powerful things, especially the spells, because as everyone knows, D&D spells kind of, the scaling effect of a good spell is kind of out of control compared to like a mundane melee attack or something. If I need to limit the use of that, maybe we do it at the unit action level. Like, so when the wizard goes to cast that spell, maybe you need to like put the spell into a spell slot. Maybe we utilize the spell slot system, and so like maybe the wizard can have more lower level spells and fewer higher level spells, or maybe we do something like that. We do like a spell slot system to limit your ability to make it harder to use, you know, a meteor than like a frostbolt or something. It is strange, and we are in uncertain territory, Commander. So I really appreciate your like analysis and feedback on it, and your suggestions. I'm not trying to dismiss anyone out of hand, and I'm very happy to talk about my thought process on it. But yeah, we're in kind of a weird space because of the whole cards as items rather than like, and nouns rather than cards as verbs. So it's really like playing the cards is about setting yourself up to then do something in the other part of the game, which is going to be weird. And I do want those economies to talk to each other. Like, it would be cool if like a wizard can cast Scry, or a druid could cast like Innervate, and now you can play an extra card on their turn or something. Like, I want you to be able to trade one resource for another resource to an extent. But figuring out the way that works is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You like the approach of have some prototype art before basic gameplay because you go through a lot of ideas while designing. Yeah, all I'm trying to do is figure out the base card layout because we're going to need to make a ton of cards. And I want to do it from like a base scene because I don't want to have to rearrange this whole thing every time. Unfortunately, the way this card layouts plugin works, it's kind of weird. It insists on making the layout for me, and then I get to modify it. So I have to do something a little weird. So we're probably going to just make the layout and then copy over these contents. Actually, what I should do, actually, these aren't unique anymore, are they? So it's sub viewport, then card front. So what we're probably going to do is under the sub viewport, we'll probably just have an instance of this. It's probably what we're going to have. I might have like a card format scene. So maybe we do something like it can't be a control because then all of these all of a sudden have control node parents. But it could be just a node. Could be like this. Oh, this needs to be in the sub viewport though. Card format. And then what we could do is we could save this as a scene. And then we could instantiate the scene in any card we create. And that way I could change the basic layout for all cards at once. That's like something I'm looking for. Commander, you're curious about why you would spend so much time on card layouts without having any gameplay set in place or implemented. At least in your mind, it makes much more sense to have some sort of gameplay prototype and gray box granular things like the layout of the cards before moving more heavily into art. I think it's fine to use the prototype art or whatever, but spending so much time on it feels a bit weird when you don't necessarily know what information all needs to exist on the card. There's a number of reasons why we're not doing what you suggest. One, this game is being developed in public. So we're streaming this. So there is some threshold of quality that we need to demonstrate at all times to keep people's interest. That's like a very superficial reason. But the other thing is like, before I started working out this card layout, I didn't know how much information I wanted to have on the card. Like at this point, I'm like, I want to have no information on the card. Oh, I gotta update the script too. That's my position now, is that I actually don't want the card to contain any real information. I want to handle the card information on this other thing that we're thinking about doing, which is like a character sheet or a tooltip. That's how I want to do it. And I don't think I would have thought of that or had that idea in mind if I had not prototyped the card layout. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you need to have some cards in place or you can't prototype anything. I could have had cards in place that have literally nothing on them. But at that point, it's like, what is that even? Also, you say so much time. We've spent like 2 days on this. Like 2 days. Like, give me a break. But I like the attitude because that is how I'm thinking about this. Is I don't want to get bogged down in like, part of the reason why we're using the Simple Cards plugin is I don't want to get bogged down in 3 months of me making my own card handling setup, right? Like we are trying to cut out all of this extra stuff. But I think there's certain things we can cut. There's certain things we can't. Obviously, it's a personal preference that I'm doing it this way, but I think the impact is minimal. But yeah, I don't know how you would determine what information you want to have on the card without at all considering what the card is going to look like or how big it is or anything like that. Like, I think the fact that this is a digital game changes our approach a lot. Like, if this was a physical card game, we would probably be taking a different approach. Someone even told me I should paper prototype this, and I was like, that would take longer than digitally prototyping it. Because I can't print cards. I'd have to learn this whole other skill of card printing. But yeah, I think there's a million ways to skin a cat, as they say. And this is the way that we've chosen. But we're constantly pivoting. We're constantly thinking about new ways to approach this. All right, so right now, base resource is card resource as base card resource. Card levels is an array. Card front is this thing that we have. At on-ready variable. Do I need to know the card back texture at all? I don't think so. Maybe I do. Card back. Texture rect. Oh, no. There's nothing to assign the card back to. Actually, I don't know how that works. I'm going to have to look at that real quick. Because we have our card back ready, so we should set up the card back layout. Because we've got one card back that we're going to use for everything. Card.front texture is card levels. Card front texture is card levels. Base resource card level -1. Level of text is base resource card level. So why did this stop? Invalid of texture with value of type on base object of type null. Interesting. Oh, I'm not done setting this up right. I had this stuff is, it's not pointing to the right thing. Card format, card front. And then so all of these are going to be like that. I mean, I know I could do it with unique names. I don't. I feel like giving every node in the thing a unique name is like kind of dumb. Actually, what I should do is maybe make card format unique. Because then I can just say, I can ignore the sub viewport and say card format, card front. And then I just need to know how card format is organized. That's good. That's good. Especially if we're going to be separating this out as like a base scene that we can easily instantiate. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I actually want to do that now. Save branch as scene. Cards, base. We will say base card format. We have different formats. We can always change that. So we base card layout. Now we got base card format. Reset position. Yeah, who cares? And so now this is all here and we don't care about it anymore. And now we can just plug this into every new card we make and we just can reuse that layout. That seems nice. Based on the constraints that I have with their card layout plugin, that seems nice. Let's see if that works. Okay, not filling in the information. It's okay. Quick tip, you can select all nodes you want as @onReady and hold control while dragging into the script. Yes. But I like my names and stuff. But yes, that's very true. You can do that. You can't always control the way they do it. Depending. Like they love when you're doing it from the file system, they love giving you that unique ID now. And sometimes I'm like, I'd prefer a file path, please. I don't know if it's just me. I like being able to read my resource references. Am I the only one that likes to be able to like read in plain English what it is that I'm referring to? I find the UID thing super unhelpful for that. I love the stability of it, but its lack of human readability is a problem to me. Commander, paper prototypes can certainly be helpful, especially if you just use simple proxies. For you, at least, it's very nice to have things you can touch and hold in prototyping. I think that's really neat. I think from a practical standpoint, that's not really an option for me. Especially because I mean, I could paper prototype the like tactical battle part of this game. I feel like that would be way over the line of like reasonability. think that would be unreasonable. All right, so why is the card resource not updating? Did I reset a bunch of export variables because I changed a bunch of things? That usually is what happens. Oh, you know what we want to do is we actually want this to all be cleared. We want these icons and everything to be cleared. I guess the card front reference we could keep. Just so we can actually see it. And then when we look back here, this is what it should look like. Great. And then so other cards will... Okay, so we need to get the data over here. Oh, we're not setting the text. Right, I said we're not going to do that. The level thing should show up, though. So I'm waiting to see the level text. The level text should appear. Why do you look like this? Oh, because of the sub viewport. Oh, neat. Neat. Kind of looks weird, but neat. I don't really care about any of this. Because the point is having this all arranged this way, and then to overwrite it in the specific card if we need to. So I wonder what's going on. I wonder if it's actually the fact that it's not being replaced, or that the fact that I've chained it like this means that the format is wrong. So let's look here. Card front. That's right. Card icon has no texture associated with it. Header icon is no... Oh, but that's right. That's right, because we're not doing that yet. The level thing. So level left, level 1, level 1. Okay, so these actually are set, and they appear incorrectly. They appear incorrectly. Why is that? Is it because of the fact that we're not constraining this thing with this? What are you? Do you actually inherit control node at some point in the distant past? Oh, you're a sub viewport container. That is a control node. Oh, is the sub viewport breaking the link so that I can actually... Better use unique names for UI. I just took those out because this is a flat hierarchy. But yeah, I think you're generally right. How's it going, Oversimulated Man? I like that name. That's funny. Just vibing? All right, sounds good. So the text is here. Level 1. If I go over here, let's undo that. Whoa. Let's undo all of this. Let's go here. Let's say editable. This is probably how we're going to take this approach. So if I type in level 1, where do you appear? Oh, so you're actually not set up correctly. That would explain why we don't see you. It really doesn't like that this layout is uncontrolled. But you know what? I don't really care. Position, negative, whatever, a ton. So all of I think the layout for a lot of this stuff got messed up. Let me put I think I underestimated the importance of the sub viewport here, or the base card layout, in my quest to make this a scene thing that we can inherit. Because I really want the format of the card to be something we can inherit. I would do it at the top level. I would just have this whole thing be one thing, and we can just instantiate the whole thing. The problem is this plugin I'm using really wants to be in control of creating a card layout, so it creates the scene for me. So I can't then just go instantiate... I can't just instantiate my own scene as the root of a scene and then create the layout for the card system. I have to do it this other way, which is why I have it as this thing. But I could put it on the sub viewport. The card format could actually be the sub viewport if that's the problem. Let's see if that's the problem. So let's save this as a scene. Well, hold on. Let's do a couple of things. Let's undo this. Yeah, sure. Let's I want to make this local. Yeah, let's make it local. Let's remove the node and then use this instead. Call this card format. And then if so I broke all the layout stuff, I think, when I did all of that, which is unfortunate, but we can fix it. Yep, broke all of the layout stuff I had. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so this actually isn't going to work the way that I want it to. Maybe it will. Let's see what actually... Before I fix this, let's fix this elsewhere. I think the top level node is doing some work here in terms of the control stuff. Godot 4.7 has more features for control nodes. Nice, nice. That sounds good. I'm always happy to find that. This would not be a base card, would it? Oh no, it will. It'd be a base card format, which I already have a scene for. Let's just replace it. Can't overwrite a scene that's open. Fine. Fine. Base card format. Overwrite it. Whoa. Yeah, that breaks everything. All right, so how do I want to do this then? Undo that sub viewport thing. I could do this with a control node. I could do this with a control node. I think. Let's see if we make this a control node instead at the base. Card format. Yeah, everything's all messed up. Let's just rename. Let's regenerate the names here so we can organize everything. This looks like it's okay so far. I would need to specify this. I think I would need to specify this custom. What is this? Is this based on the size? It's a float. Oh, I would just, let's just specify the size. Full rect, container sizing. Custom. That won't work. It's the footer icon. It's bottom left. What this is. You know, I could always just do this with positions. I think I'm being ridiculous trying to set this up with anchors, but left. Let's just put something in here so I can see it. Header icon, plug that in. Top right. Portrait icon should be easy. Unless it's like crazily sized. Center. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's it. So what I want to do, I think I want to hard code the size here. Let's make sure this doesn't get reset when we save this out. So let's not do that just in case. Base card format. Overwrite it. Yeah, I think that. Wait, when did this become a node again? Why did it become a... Hey, Magoo. Why did this become a node when I saved it out? It's fine here. Whoa, everything is set to the viewport for some reason. That's crazy. It's because I set full rect, huh? So what if we did this instead? Instead of full rect, what if we said top left? No. Oh my glob. Thornity Co. coming in. How was the rest of that playthrough? I watched the first like half. Hey, leave you over on YouTube. How's it going? No, we're pivoting. We're pivoting. That's on pause. Star Trek sound? Yes. Though I think I need to change that. Because we're making a very different game now. How was the stream? How's it going, Thornity? When are you going to help me get over my fear of cruises, of ocean cruises? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Welcome to Party Wipe. A roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party for a little bit of little tactics fun, a little turn-based tactics fun. How's it going? Someone healing guards or something? Yeah, I don't know. I gotta see what I can get away with. I want to add the detuned little bard song from Honor Among Thieves. When it's getting all like when the magic is failing and it like gets like weirdly out of tune. I kind of want something like that. We'll see where we play that. Sounds dope. Thank you. Thank you, LaProf. How's it going? Hey, Vex. Who goes there? Yeah, we'll have to look around. We'll probably grab a bunch of different stuff. We'll probably grab some like Lord of the Rings sound effects, some whatever. But that's just stream fun stuff. I'm going to try to do some of that stuff tonight. But how's it going? Welcome in. Thanks again, Thornity. Thornity is the big reason we made this pivot. A lot of the things that I'm doing right now, it's like trying to make a game in like 6 months, get a demo out, get it on Steam in like fast by like the end of the year. Just get something out there, see if it works. If not, just rinse and repeat. You know, get my first failure out there as soon as possible. Which is why I'm making a game about failure. Not gonna do any more game jams because I'm trying to approach this game like a game jam. We're trying to approach this game like the anti-dream game. We're not gonna make everything from scratch. We're heavily utilizing plugins and assets, try to just get stuff together. We're on day 4. We're fiddling around with the card layout a little bit. You also still have the Star Trek door ring sound. I have the communicator sound. If you follow, you might hear it. I have a bunch of Star Trek sounds hooked up. Yeah. But that's because we were making a space game before this. We were making a space game with beautiful handmade pixel art as made by me. And it was taking so long and it was so slow. And We like the game jam approach. We've had some mild success taking this really aggressive game jam approach. And so I'm trying to carry it forward here. We're still early days. We've only just started working on the actual stuff. I'm trying to sort out this card format issue I'm having. Yeah, it's gonna be a little card game. There will be a little battle map, as illustrated by our little stupid grid of grass. Crash. Is this reference gone? How's everyone doing? We're trying to make this scene. You know what I'm doing? You know what I maybe shouldn't do? Maybe not do this anchor style. Maybe I really do need to do a custom anchor. Maybe it's this parent that's causing me problems, because I want to hard code this size, but that doesn't seem to be what's happening when we save it out. It kind of just, like, these relationships are all correct, but it's locked to the viewport. You know, maybe the sub viewport really is key. Maybe it is. Maybe we need both. Let's see if we save it out from here. I would like to just save it out from here, but our card system, the card plugin we use, has really strong opinions about that. It's kind of frustrating. Let's just save this out and see what happens. Oh, I gotta close this scene first before I do that. Do you know the game Faria? No, but you're the second person to mention it today. So let's look at it. With its unique living board, Faria is also the only card game where you can gain all 300 cards in less than 50 hours. What a fascinating way to present that. The art is sick. I'm sure the audio is sick. What's actually happening here? Oh, it's a hex war game. Neat, neat. Very juicy. Is this multiplayer? This looks multiplayer or something. Is it not multiplayer? Yeah, oh, a single player content. But it probably is multiplayer. Interesting, interesting. I think very different than what I'm trying to do, but looks cool. People seem to like it. I like this classic presentation of like actual box art. That's fun. This is fun. Yeah, we're doing like a PvE, like single player roguelike deck builder kind of thing, I think. Hey, LSG, how's it going? You were the first to mention it, Arneo. The art is amazing. The trailer sucks in showing how complex the board mechanic is. It's a good thing. It sounds cool. All right, can I fix this way? Hey, did this actually work? Why is it a control node, though? Well, that didn't work. For some reason, level 1 is all the way out there, but everything else seemed to work. You can't see a goddamn thing here, though, for some reason. But it works here, and that might be all I care about. Problem is, if I can't see it here, I'm not sure how to... Oh, I can see it here. I just can't see it in the editor for some reason. Do I need to do it more like this? I think I'm really working against myself here is the annoying thing. Let's make that local. It needs a sub viewport. I really want to do this a different way, but my hands are tied a little bit by this plugin I'm using. Trying to make a base format that I can instantiate, but I can't do it as the root node, so I'm having to like explore these workarounds. And I lost my sub viewport for some reason. What if I put the sub viewport here? You know what? It probably needs the whole... Yeah, there's really no way to do this. I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up on that. I really wanted to do it this way. But I think that's asking too much based on the constraint that I'm operating under. Maybe we can change the attitude of the system a little bit, maybe. Why is this not exactly the scale I thought it was? But I hope everyone's having a good day. I appreciate the raid again, Thornity. Very excited to check out your new game here. I did this via rotation and not reverse scaling. Okay, or not -1 scaling. Interesting choice, Dave. Interesting choice, Dave. Oh, we lost all of it. Okay. Oh, I have to... Well, yeah, I have to do rotation because we're doing 90 degrees. Duh. All right, we've got 2 Feria tournament regulars in the chat here. Good to see. Good to see. Let's back this off by 1. All right. I like this card setup. We totally lost our footer icons rotation for some reason. This is going to make it really annoying to make mass changes to the card formats if I can't do it with an inherited base scene. But that's fine. We'll live with it. I'm still going to leave this interposing. I'm too afraid to try the experiment again. So we're just going to not worry about it. Whoa. How did deleting this scene... Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I had a weird focus. All right. How's this work? All right, crash. Card format. Let's make that unique. Restart that. I mean, arguably, we don't need this card format node anymore. Yeah, maybe we just forget it. Make all of these unique again. Then we can just refer to them directly. There we go. All right, we've got our little card moving around. I really need to get the hands and the deck set up. I'm still not sold on the having the deck be a little cut off, but I think I could get away with it because of the whole. We only really use the top. Like you don't need to be able to see the whole card. The last sip of the coffee. It's good stuff. All right. We got some. We're still cooking here. What do we want to do now? Okay, so that's set by the card levels, resource. Everything else is positioned correctly. What I really need to do is make the base card layout abstract and remove it from the list of layouts, probably. Because you actually shouldn't be able to create this by itself. Yeah, this is what I want. So it's probably the alignment for the names and stuff is probably not quite right, but pixel to there. 1, 2, 3. Move it down 1 more pixel. Oh my glob, what is happening? Raid alert. Z.A. Shaw with another 42 adventurers, the largest party of adventurers. How's it going, Zed? Welcome. Party wipe. A new little roguelike deck builder we're making where you draft a RPG party. We're trying to mash up a little roguelike deck builder with a little turn-based tactics game. So your cards are like your equipment, your characters, your spells, and all that stuff, but you have to build characters out of them to battle out on the map. We have some ideas around this. We have some fun ideas around characters dying a lot, around hardcore stuff. Not hardcore like you lose them forever. In fact, the opposite, because I can't stand that Darkest Dungeon shit. How's it going? You're just doing some C++ stuff? Nice, nice. We're fiddling around with card layouts. I think we're pretty happy with this layout. Kind of hard to tell where this is, but I think it's off by a couple pixels here. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Good enough. We'll fix that. We'll have to reposition these for the different text alignments because someone like the Demon Prince is going to need to have... Not Demon Prince. The Demon Knight has a 2-line name, so we have to reposition these. So I'm not super sweating it right now. This is just our demo card. All right, our card moves around just fine. We can grab our card, move it. We have a whole plugin we're using for the card mechanism. Hey, Vitamort. How's it going? Glob? Yes. Bye, Glob. Hey, NS Kim. How's it going, everybody? Thank you all for hopping in here and hanging out. I have to do the shout-outs in order. Thorny Decode just raided us. Mere moments before. Maybe minutes. Mere minutes before. Thank you for the raid. Now I just gotta wait my 1 minute the shout-out cooldown. Appreciate everyone hanging in here today. Hope you're having a good Thursday. It's almost Friday. We're getting there. This little thing of grass represents, I think, the tactical play space. So this morning we made a little card back for party wipe. I want to throw this in there. I really like the shadow. I think I need to add the shadow to the title card. The little red pixel shadow. We're gonna need to continue to rebrand from sci-fi Star Trek stuff back to our like hardcore D&D approach thing, because we're gonna be all in on this. I mentioned before we're gonna suspend work on the other games. We're not gonna do any more game jams. We are gonna go all in on getting a commercial game up on Steam. We're gonna get a demo up by the end of the year. I'm telling you, and I'm also telling me, we're gonna enter this thing in the February Next Fest. However it turns out. But yeah, we got in-person playtest in about 10 weeks. So I'm approaching this like a game jam. We're trying to really aggressively just keep on swimming and get this thing out there. Okay, can I shout out Zed now? Six seconds. I missed the cooldown by 6 seconds. Oh, I'm a noob. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to open the other project, which is the Simple Cards plugin project. We are going to look at how they've set things up, and we are going to start imitating them because they have this really great card plugin that does so much. There's they have some examples that we can check out. Like they have this whole, how good is this plugin, right? Like we can just use this stuff. The thing we're going to really have to make from scratch is the tactics wargaming part. But like the card mechanics of managing this stuff is like very well established already. It's really great. This is maybe part of the reason we're spending time making a card layout commander, is because like there's this whole API associated with this. We can sort our cards. We can propose cards without playing them. Kind of nice. That may be kind of cool. So maybe you can hover over it or do this. Maybe you can hover over it to see the card tooltip, and then maybe if you propose it or whatever one calls this action of like slightly shuffling my card forward. Maybe if you do this, maybe it shows the adjustments to the character sheet that card causes, that item or whatever. If you like put it in their whatever slot. But yeah, how cool is all this stuff? The card draw happens. You can set rules about hand size and everything. So yeah, I was supposed to look this over yesterday. I didn't do a good job of doing that. But yeah, so like this is the hand. This is it's a Balatro hand. It extends card hand. It's a card hand with multi-card selection. Click cards to select, deselect. Okay, so that's what that's called. That's called card selection. Selected cards get visually bumped upward. Cool. Important. Always duplicate the selected array before moving cards to another. Moving cards to another what? Another what? Important. Always duplicate the selected array before moving cards to another. Oh, I think they mean hand. But still. Okay, so we can define a max selected. So this is the base one. This is a card container that arranges cards in a visual hand layout. Provides drag-based reordering, focus chain management, z-index stacking, for game-specific behavior, selection, validation, multi-drag, extend this class, and override. Method handle card added, method handle card removed, or method handle clicked card. That's, I assume, what they're doing here. What they are adding, they have overwritten handle click card, and that's what lets them do this toggle select thing. That's neat. That's neat. Hey, Vitamort. You should split the level label in two. That way the level part can remain and the number can be changed without changing the layout. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But on the other hand, it's also really easy to do what I'm doing here, which is we just use a formatted string and we just plug in the card level number. Because we're only going to have 1-digit card levels. We're only doing level 1 through 6. But yes, that would be good. That would be strictly correct. The problem is if we did everything strictly correct, we would never be done. We would never be done. Okay, so if I want to do a few things. I want to create a card layout for... So this is default back. I just want to create a card back. I just want to create a card back layout. Do we just call it card back? Or should I call it base card back? I should probably just call it card back. Yeah, I'll call it base. We might have a different one. I could call it something else. I could call it like party card back. Title card back. Maybe I'll call it title card back because that's what it kind of is. Let's make do I want to do it that way? I don't know if it matters. It's kind of annoying to change these layouts once you created them. They do some caching and some stuff that makes it kind of hard to manipulate. We're just going to say base card back. We'll save it to the base cards area here. We'll say base card back layout. Create that. And then what we're going to do is we will replace all of this with a texture rect. Card layout. What did I say this? Base card. And then this will be just card back. Is that what I call it up here? Yeah, because I call it card front here. So this is just card back. We will add our card back. Base card back. And that's our card back. And so what I can do now... I regret calling this base card layout. I kind of want to name it base card front. Or maybe base card. Okay. And then so now if we go and we define like a deck or something, we should be able to see that. I've put the UI on an entirely different canvas layer. I don't know if that's strictly necessary because the play space is on its own sub viewport. I don't know if it's like extra unnecessary to have a UI canvas layer. I feel like that might be redundant, but we're gonna do it just to not think about it. If it is redundant, we can always change. So what I want to do is I want to add a deck manager, the main card deck manager. Actually, I don't think it needs to be part of that. It could be up here. Main card deck manager, which I made earlier. It can be all the way up here because it doesn't matter. I'm having to do this thing where I'm having to update this add-ons icons because they were not built with SVGs when they should have been. Not what I wanted at all. Show in file manager. Wait, why do I want to show it in the file manager? I'll just open a Nasprite. What's wrong with me? Nope. Right. Okay. Open. Go find this thing here. Add on. Boink. Save this as an SVG. Card scale 1 is fine. Go back in here. Following files are newer on disk. Base card layout. That's concerning. Try to reload from the disk, I guess. Seems fine. Check out the import here. Scale this with the editor. Re-import it. This is a really stupid thing I'm doing. But it's nice. Card deck manager. Oh, you know what I should do? Rather than do it like this, where I'm updating the add-on, I should be doing this for my own variations. So we should do like this instead. Do I have a main card deck manager? I do. So we want to say add icon, but I actually want to move all of these down. You can say card. No, not cards. You can say well, I actually don't quite know how I want to do that, but we'll say this. Get rid of the preload and everything. Substitute our own UID here. And now that should do something. Oh, is this not a tool class? Oh, it's not. None of this is a tool. Interesting. If I close this and reopen it. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Are all numbers the same width in this font? I think so. I think so. Again, it's bad form to do what I'm suggesting. All right, did this achieve what I wanted it to? Yeah. All right. That's so people are like, why bother? Because I have to work in this. Okay, but that's definitely the way I should have done it. I should go back and fix some of the other ones. But I'm not going to do that. That's not an on-stream thing. That's a me being nitpicky. That's me picking nits, which I should not do. We've got our card deck manager. We need to study how their card deck manager initializes the scene. Oh, so they're actually using the default card deck manager. So the manager doesn't really do any of this. So interesting how that's how they've approached this. But there's a hand here. So there's played hand, preview hand. There's a bunch of different. These are treated as hands. Ah, so you have multiple hands. They're not just piles. So what I want to do is I want to set up the draw pile, which is a type of card pile. Should I not just extend? It looks like I don't need to. Hey, how's it going mentally? Hey, Shulker Dev. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Hey, Azzy Steel. How's it going? Is Godot a language or library for C++? Godot is an engine. Under the hood, it is written in C++. You can use modules or GD extensions to write your own C++ code for Godot. Otherwise, you can just script it in their language called GDScript here, which is what we're using. Since we're making a card game, I don't think we need to write any C++ here. I should have when I built my ECS. Godot is a Unity. Do not compare those. All right, preview draw. What is this? It's a button. Oh, okay, that's just a button. They have some interesting things here. They have a bunch of archetypes I can use. So I want a card pile. I want a draw pile. container that can function as an invisible holder or a visual pile. So I think having the invisible piles will be great for like the characters, because you're going to be stacking cards on these characters, and most of the time you're not going to get to see them. Maybe sometimes you can. Maybe sometimes you can see the pile. But it looks like there's very little behavior here. All you do is you say whether you want to show the cards. If true, card nodes are visible, and you can decide whether they're face up. So like the discard will be face up and the draw pile is not. That's pretty neat. Okay, and there are different shapes. There are different card shapes. This one uses a stack shape. You can do idle animation. This card pack is so good, or this card plugin is so good. Simple cards, so awesome. I can see how much time it's gonna save us. So let's add a. Let's add a pile. Let's add a card pile. I need to fix this icon too. I will do this later. It drives me insane. These like shrunken icons. So we have a card pile. How does the card pile know what size it should be? So we can add a stack shape. Does the stack shape have a shape? No. It's just a thing. Max cards is unlimited. Cards focusable. Interesting. Show cards on. How does this look like in the example when we're just sitting in the scene and not playing anything? Oh, you can't see it. It's actually not visible for some reason. If I hide this, can we see it under? Okay, so it's invisible at the moment. Why is mine visible then? Shrink? Oh, I need to tell the container to shrink probably. So we are going to anchor this to the bottom left. You know, this is actually a case where I might use a margin. Depending on how we want to handle screen aspect ratios. Our background is black, so we can always black bar, but it would be kind of neat if we could actually use the extra or minimal space for like the card stuff to an extent. I'm thinking of the 16:10 display of like the Steam Deck. We'll say bottom left. We will say the container size is shrink begin here. Oops. That didn't do anything. Why do you have an appearance? Is my question. What if I hit play? Yeah, it has an appearance. I don't really want that. Is it a visibility thing? How do you manage this? Shrink begin, shrink end. That is the only thing that you're setting. Shape. Is there anything to this shape? Path, examples, resource. That doesn't look like it's got anything in it. Cards focusable turned off. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's causing the visibility. Hey, is this a new game idea? Both. You're saying, is it a new game idea or something for a game jam? It's not for a game jam per se, but we're gonna try to take my game jam workflow and apply it to like a commercial project. Is the goal. That is the goal. Oh, there's a size to that. What is the size for this one? Maybe that's the problem. Container sizing. No, transform. Size 0, 0. Oh, that's just how they're doing it. Okay. So then if anything, what I need to do... What have you contained this in? Margin container? Yeah, that's probably what I should do. Yeah, that's what I should do. I'm going to have a board edge margin container. Call it the board margin. But yeah, we're making a roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party called Party Wipe. You'd seen me, I was streaming something new. You hadn't had the chance to check in. Yeah. Appreciate it. A commercial game jam game. Seriously, though, I'm not having success. Well, I can't say success because I've never released any of them. But, like, the approach that I take when I'm making a dream game, which is usually very unique, I want to do everything myself. I want to exert the control. I want it to be special, and I'm very passionate about the idea, like I am with Lo-Fi Flyby and with our like FTL-like game. Those games aren't canceled. I'm just suspending them because I seem to work very differently when I do a game jam, and I make entire games very quickly. And the practicality of that approach is very apparent, and I want to try to see if that can be extended to a small-ish game. You know, a game where we're going to put out a demo this year. You know, a game that we release early next year. Put it in the February Next Fest. We just try it. We try our hand. We roll the dice. Whatever the dice come up with, we learn our lessons. We collect our shit, and we try again, right? We recollect. We pick ourselves back up, and we try again. So I'm trying to more embody that fail fast mentality and approach, to just get something, make it, give it a try. Doesn't work, whatever. I realize my lights haven't been on this whole time. It's okay. Sounds like an idea. It's definitely that. Void Blit. Need to try different approaches. Only way to find the best one. Very true. Very true. There are mini studios that release one game a month. I know, it's crazy. I know some like cooperative groups that like to do stuff like that. Or they have multiple prototypes going and then they pick one to like rally around or stuff. And they make that. But like, I'm a solo dev, so already we've taken very different approaches of this, where like we're using a card game plugin. So I don't spend 2 to 3 months making my own system that lets me drag a card around the screen, right? You could easily see that taking a long time and wanting to do it yourself. Or we could just grab a plugin. We also, all of our art, we pulled an art asset pack, so we're gonna do a little bit of art here and there. Like I drew my own cards. I drew my own card stock. Like, because it can be pixel perfect. Like we're doing some content creation, but we're trying to move very fast. What did I do here? I was fiddling. So yeah, let's do the board margin. I might regret this later. Put this in the margin. We'll add a margin of some kind. What are the overwrites? Size? Yeah, sure. We'll add some arbitrary margin around the whole thing. Oh, you know what? I actually don't necessarily want to do it this way, huh? Because I was considering having the deck go off the screen, wasn't I? And this wouldn't work with that, would it? Oh, maybe we don't do it this way. Maybe we don't do it this way. I'm not the most comfortable with the Godot control node system, to be honest. We'll have to figure out where this position needs to be to actually show the thing that we want to show. Okay, well, we have it in place. We don't know if we're going to be able to see it. Let's move it. Let's move it a little. So let's just move it around. Just so that whatever gets put there, we can definitely see. But yeah, eventually I think I would want to use some kind of margin to control that. All right, I broke my card somehow. If I changed the card layout name, I think I might have. And that would have broken it. Yeah, this isn't called base card layout anymore. It's just called base card and then base card back. There it is. So yeah, I want a deck that's maybe like this. Kind of hanging off the screen a little bit. I don't think it needs to be like this. I think it can be like this. Then we'll have a discard over here, a discard pile that can be face up. So draw pile, discard pile. Put your hand here, down here at the bottom. There's something to it. Lots of people are having lots of success with small games. Right, because with a small game, the success doesn't even need to be that high. Because you didn't put like 8 years of your life into it, right? If you spend 6 months to a year on a game, the required ROI is way less, right? That's why I think people are trying to make games so fast. I think I can make games only so fast. Like, I think our goal is to have a strong demo out by the end of the year so that I can put it up over the holidays, which is apparently a great time to put up a demo. Like, put up the demo, like, around Christmas. Or between Christmas and New Year's or something. And then enter into the next fest in February. And then, yeah, see what happens. We get wish lists or we don't, and then we just ship it. We could, you know, scale the amount of additional work that we put into it based on the feedback. Like, if people like it and we're getting wish lists, we put a little more effort in. If people don't like it and we're not getting wish lists, we just put it out, move on, get some feedback. We've got in-person playtesting in 10 weeks. So I need to work up the inner loop. I need to work up onboarding for how to teach the inner loop. And then I think after that will be very validating of the inner loop. And then we can start looking at doing the content, the more outer loop stuff of the more choosing where you go and having some more like shop mechanics and like questing and like different quest lines and like routes you could take. All right, so we have a card pile. I'm going to name it draw pile. We do show the cards. The cards are not focusable. So how do they put cards into the draw pile? Where's the logic for that? Where does the logic fit? The Electro-style card game example shows off drawing from a deck, selecting and playing cards, discarding, applying visual modifiers, sorting, and previewing pile contents. Previewing pile contents is going to be awesome. You definitely need that. Card deck manager manages the deck, populates the draw pile. Does it though? Starting pile, draw, deck. Oh, so you just put a deck into the draw pile. What's auto setup? Call setup automatically on ready. Shuffle on setup. Shuffles cards. Oh, that's slick. Okay. So I need to make a deck. I need to make a card deck resource. What is this? No, it's just a deck. It's not even a... Well, it's a resource that's a card deck, I think. Okay. 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 So let's... look at our main card deck manager. Let's say cards, and then let's make a folder for the decks. And then what we'll do is we'll make a new card deck. We will save it as the card deck.tres, just to start. We will say the starting pile. Well, hold on a second. Oh no, yeah. So it's gonna put those into the draw pile. It will shuffle them. And so what we need to do then is to define this. So the deck name is going to be just, we'll just say draw deck for now. And then we just need to put cards in here. One card. We can add our base card resource, which is the only card that we've defined. And then now when I hit play, oh, we need to call setup. Setup is not called automatically. What happens if we do say setup is automatic? Hey, there's a card here. Card back isn't connected correctly. That is this resource's fault. Base card back. Base card back. Party wipe. Card back. Base card back. Is that a base card layout problem? Are you not doing the thing you're supposed to do? Whose job is it to set this part? Card layout. Arneo, you've gotten so much work done today, it's not even funny. That sounds awesome. Hey, Gabor, what's up? Not much. What's up with you? We're starting to dig into this card plugin and how it works. Trying to get it going here. We've got a draw pile that we're forming, but the card back is not being set correctly, so I'm trying to figure that out. We've definitely got a base card back here, but we're falling back to the default for some reason. Somebody is not naming this correctly. So this is a drop down, so that can't be named incorrectly. That's just how it is. Is it maybe a caching thing? Is it maybe not being recognized? Yeah, back. Back. Let's get that sorted here. This is the base card layout. This is also the base. Oh, this is the base card back layout. This is the base card layout. Base card back layout. Is there anything you need to specify? Card size, card resource. Not really. Oh, do I need to make a resource for it? I don't think so. Hey, Azzy, you really struggle to get to grips with working with plugins. You think you just find it a bit overwhelming as you don't have a coding background? That can make it super overwhelming. This one's nice in that it comes with a bunch of practical examples. If I had to just look through the classes and everything and I couldn't see how one actually built it here. So like here's a card pile that seems to pre-exist. How is this set up? This is a card pile. Why can I already see this? Is there like a... Oh, there's already a card here. I see. Okay, yeah, no. Card. Front layout name. Back layout name. Card. Type card. I'm not connecting that somewhere, and I don't remember where that gets connected. You're fine? You just joined a game jam? You might give up because you're bored as fuck? Oh, really? Pretty long game jam, then, I imagine. Because if it was a short game jam, I feel like you wouldn't have time to be bored. All right. Deck, card deck. Card deck includes this. Includes one card called the base card. Oh, hey. Base card resource. Is this the base card resource, or is this... It's this resource. And it's got all of these. It's got the front layout name. But why is it when I look at this, all of this is empty? Load. Let me make sure I'm loading the right one. Cards. Base. Base card resource. There we go. I was loading a new resource and not a resource I had already set up. So now when I load this, there it is. Party wipe. Maybe we do have it fully on the screen. I guess I kind of like that. I was considering having it be like semi-cut off. Like this. Because you could do... Yeah, you could do about to just below the end of the port. You could do like this. Take up a little less space. But I think that's maybe confusing. I think that maybe makes it look like your hand. Because your hand is going to do that. So maybe it's either consistent with the hand. Let's try it. Let's just try it. It's a lot of guesswork because we can't actually see how this looks until we see it. But go down. Try that. Okay, let's go a little farther. Okay, so this is being anchored to the bottom left. Right. That's correct. Let's go even further. Go to like 400 or something. Too far. Okay. Split the difference. 380. It's a 30-day game jam. You worked on the game for about 4 hours. It's looking pretty good. Already pretty bored. Damn. Yeah, so what do we think? Do we like the cutoff deck? Or do you think the deck should be fully on the screen? Like this sort of thing. I kind of like the cutoff deck thing, if I'm honest. I think it saves us some space. But then again, maybe it would be better to just... So 360 would be right up to the edge. So I would go minus 16. Okay. So alternatively, we could do like this. Maybe this is just like strictly better. Strictly more recognizable. Hey, Fusionist, how's it going? We're messing around with card games. Yes. We're messing around with a new... Roguelike Deckbuilder, where you draft an RPG party called Party Wipe. It's meant to be like a hardcore roguelike kind of, where the cards are like your characters and their equipment, and the battles are played out on these little turn-based maps. Anyway, kind of interesting. How's it going? Permadeath? It depends on what you mean. If you party wipe, the game is over. And it's a roguelike, so there is no progression in between rounds. There's going to be a meta progression of like, you can unlock new card packs to use, but that's going to be more of a lateral unlock than it is going to be like a power gain. So it'll be like, oh, now I can play with the witch because I defeated the witch. Any specific occasion for making this one? It's 2026. This is going to be our 2026 thing. This is the thing that we're going to do. We're taking a game jam approach, and we're going to take a very aggressive approach to doing this with like assets and plugins and just try to make something. So this is what we're going to work on, I think, for the rest of the year and put out. I want to put out a demo by the end of the year. I say I want to. I will put out a demo by the end of the year. I want to put one out around Christmas time. Just so that we can get on there when the games industry goes on vacation. Neat, keep it up then. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we're making some compromises like that hurt. Cuz like I don't think I can do any more game jams the rest of the year. It hurts. But we already did 3. So, maybe that's okay. We did 3 game jams in the first half of the year, so maybe we're all right. Maybe we can take a break. Gotta eat and sleep. Y'all keep Dave focused now. Appreciate that. You been chilling? You're trying to get things done on these 10 days leading up to Next Fest. Oh, nice, nice. You're getting into Next Fest. Can you remind me what you're putting in Next Fest? Please drop a link. Biggest problem is that not many people join the game jam, so there's basically no competition. Oh, that can be a bit rough. You're really only competing with yourself, but I get it. I understand. There is a minimum number of competitors. You did 3 game jams in like the first 90 days of the year. No, what we really did is we did like 3 game jams in like 60 something days. It was from like early March till like early May. We did crash out at one of them, to be fair, the one in the middle. Eating and sleeping are kind of overrated, not gonna lie. Yeah, Kasokos. That's the biggest danger for me for trying to approach a longer term project like a game jam is we managed to get through the 72-hour game jam because like we don't sleep. We just like we're just on it. We just know life it for a weekend, right? It's like you can't really do that as if I have a day job that I need to get back to soon. Fusionist, you don't have a link just yet. It's the aquarium game you showed maybe once. I think I saw it. I think I might have seen it. But yeah, please, when you make it public, give me a link here or like in the Discord or something. I'd love to see it and wishlist it, obviously. Yeah, I'm not full time. That's part of my motivation for just trying to make something happen. I would like to go full time someday. And I think I got this in the wrong order. I think I need to make small games quickly as a part-timer. You know, if one of my little small games takes off and I get enough money to quit my job, maybe then I can go back to making my dream games. But that also feels like a trap, so I don't know. But we're doing our best. We're doing our best. All right, I don't know about the card, about the draw card being fully out here. I kind of like it being a little down. I kind of like it being cut off. I think I'm going to go back to that. I kind of like the slightly cut off draw pile thing. And then let's make a discard pile. So we'll make another card pile. There's a card button. Interesting. We'll make it's not a child of anything. Be the discard pile. We will change its size to be 0. We will give it the other anchor of being bottom right. And so this one was 380 by 16. This one is going to be 640 minus 16. So 624. And then another 380. And then so what we do is we say that we show the cards and they're face up, not focusable. We make the shape a stack. And then what we do here, card deck manager, the definition deck to use, the starting pile. Okay, well, we'll need to do other stuff to be able to put stuff into the discard. But I wonder if I can just put a card in there. I think I have to create rules for how that will work, but I think the discard will be like here. Something like this. And then in the middle will be your hand. And then what I think I'm going to have is the character sheet, quote unquote. and like the enemy roster over here. So you can quickly look at the character sheets for the characters on the board. And I think the character sheets are going to just be like big unmoving cards. I think they might kind of work like that. Depends. Maybe they're not cards because they can't be moved, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works. We'll have to see whether that helps us or hinders us in terms of our workflow. Kasokos. The hardest thing is motivation. You start a jam and you easily get into the this isn't worth my sweat and time mood. Yeah, that's fair. RTN CDR, you did a political clicker for an Antifa jam in 40 minutes. Oh my god. Fusionist, you guess you missed the big talk about pivoting to this. What made priorities change? You did hear explain some of it just now. Lots of things made my priorities change. But yeah, some of it's personal, some of it's professional. You know, all the feedback from everyone right now is to just make a small game and make it quickly because you just need to roll the dice more. I think there were maybe appeal questions about the appeal of my games and the scope. And, you know, we hadn't even found the fun in them yet. It was mainly like I couldn't scope down what I was doing anymore. Because I'd already scoped the FTL-like down to my idle game, Lo-Fi Flyby. But even that required so much content that I needed to scope down again into something where I can use assets and stuff. But at that point, the stuff I was working on didn't fit anymore. Like, it didn't fit those constraints. And I honestly don't want them to. Those are like particular games that I still want to make. So we tried to identify something with some appeal within a scope that I could do, which is very reliant on add-ons and, you know, assets and plugins and stuff. And this is the idea that came out of that process. As you think you'd be happy if you earned enough money from a first game to fund some production costs for the next one? Yeah, that'd be great. That's the dream, right? The last game pays for the next game. That's the dream. So you're looking to get something released for sure then? Definitively. Demo by the end of the year. Enter it into February next fest. Then release it sometime after that. Either very quickly because the game didn't really get any traction, or maybe we put it into early access, or maybe we just put it out there and move on if it doesn't get a lot of traction. You know, keep that part of it a little flexible based on whether we end up finding the fun here. But previously, it sounded like you didn't mind playing the long hobbyist game. I would say that's very accurate. But some stuff in my personal life makes that less tenable in the long run. So yeah, we're gonna try something a little different. We're gonna try to pivot. Watching folks play your game is so informative. Yeah, this is gonna be very feedback first. Hope everyone's having a good day. You can do it. Thank you, Azzy. Let's go, Fusionist. Curious to see how that all comes along. Me too. We have in-person playtesting event in like 10 weeks. So it's a lot longer than, you know, any game jam I've done before. And it's taking some different a slightly different approach, but I'm making a bunch of public commitments to deadlines. We're gonna try to do some more planning, maybe. So now that I know what some of these deadlines are, try to make sure we have a to-do list that makes sense and we don't get caught up in doing unnecessary shit. Takes a few streams to fully realize it's a new game. Yeah, no worries. No, this is a very abrupt change that came kind of out of nowhere. I'm glad it did. The first day was like a week and a half ago or something, and I was staring at my like big piece of pixel art for the starter ship for my idle FTL light game, and I was like, I don't know what to do next. I was like, I don't know what to do next, and I don't know when this is going to be done. And I got a lot of feedback from Thornity, friend of the channel, and that was maybe the catalyst. That kind of combination of my own discomfort along with the advice of a well-respected colleague here kind of pushed me to take a new approach to try to make a new game, try to make it quickly, try not to be so precious about everything, about making the perfect dream game, try to be a bit more pragmatic, and to just ship it, get it out there. Thorny did the disruptor, truly the thought hammer, the galaxy brain. Nothing is lost. That's true. It transfers, and I'm not. Those games are not going to get left in the dust. Those games are part of a long series of things that I have in mind, but we need to make it happen first. I need to buy the runway to be able to do something like that, and this might help. Maybe this game doesn't help. Either way, we're going to learn an absolute fuck ton, and have a good time doing it. So I need to run. I need to get back to work, and I need to run to the laundromat before I get back to work. I know it feels like we don't do anything during these streams because they're only a few hours and we yap like a lot of it, but I am working a lot in the background on this every night. Have another co-working session tonight with some people. We hang around, talk about like game dev and work for hours. But we're gonna keep pushing and we'll see what we have tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Cheers. Thank you, Skim. Thank you all so much for hanging out here. We're gonna set up a raid. We're gonna go raid Hypnotic. Hypnotic just started. We'll go hang out with Hypnotic. We're gonna get a web build up, hopefully before long. Hopefully in the next maybe like 6 to 8 weeks or something, so we can do some testing in the community here before I take it to an in-person event, which is always really brutal. In the past, I've only ever brought Game Jam games to in-person playtest events, and so I never really cared about the feedback, and I'd make a note of it, but it was never like, oh, I'm going to do this next, and then I'm going to go do that. It was always just kind of like nice to see people play the game in person, but this is going to be very different experience. We're going to raid on YouTube, too. No, I don't think we have that feature, Gabor, sorry. Is that a feature of YouTube? Can you do that? I don't think we can do that. It'd be cool. Sorry, we're over on you. A lot of us are over on Twitch here, but whatever is the better viewing experience for you is the better viewing experience for you. So no worries. Appreciate you over on the YouTube holding it down. Sad, I know. YouTube will recommend you something, I'm sure. But we'll be back tomorrow, so check back in tomorrow. Thank Godot. It's almost Friday. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all next time. Bye.